Good evening, happy Wednesday. Welcome to Live in Conversation. I am your host, Daphnée Antoine, with my lovely co host, Attorney Daphnée Camilien. Hey, hey, Daphnée.
Hello, happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday indeed. You want to tell the people where you're coming from?
I am Daphnée Camilien from Camillion Law.
Awesome, awesome. We are here every Wednesday on Live in Conversation, where we share news that pertain to everyday life and how we can help each other thrive. So, with that being said, today we have a segment in regards to the Haitian migrant crisis going on currently at the Texas border. However, before we start our conversation, I thank all of you who are here, who are watching. Kindly share it. And at this time, I'm going to have Attorney Chameleon share our disclosure for the show.
Sure. So our disclosure is that I'm an attorney. Anything I express tonight is for information purposes only. It does not enter anyone in any viewer into any type of attorney-client privilege. And René is a financial entrepreneur, and anything she says doesn't create any type of fiduciary duty between her and anybody else that she's talking to. It's for information purposes only. That's it.
Awesome, awesome. All right. So let me stop that. So we have a few people joining us. My sister Christine. Hey, hey, Christine. And Mr. Gerald Daye from the Evanston Haitian Community Festival. Nice seeing you. So obviously there is a crisis going on right now in the Haitian community, regardless of where we live throughout the world. So let's have a conversation about that. And then those of you who are joining us, feel free to join the conversation. And obviously, Attorney Chameleon, does immigration laws. So therefore, she will be also explaining to us what is asylum, in the process of asylum, so that we can be aware of it and we can also share it with people who may have been misinformed about it. So let's have a conversation real quick, and then let's go into what is asylum and how can people legally receive that.
Sure. So you want to start off with what's going on?
Yes, yes, unfortunately. It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. You laugh to keep from crying. So
yes, it's a lot.
You want to start?
No, you can go ahead and start.
Okay. So basically, so as the world has probably been watching, starting like on Friday, this has been unfolding to us. It started before that, but there were a large group of immigrants who arrived at the Del Rio border in Texas, underneath a bridge, right? And they passed through Mexico, and they were trying to come into the United States. Many of them to apply for asylum. And so the group started getting bigger and bigger. And I believe by Friday, it might have been like 10,000. And at one point, it was like they estimated it to be about 14,000. The predominant amount of the people were Haitian immigrants. People are not talking about the other people. There are Cubans there. There's people from all over the world there, but the majority of the people are Haitians. So that's what the focus has been on. And so, yeah, so just so people know a little bit, when you're, fleeing from persecution, you can go, if you go to another country, you can say that I want to file for asylum. And that country will go through their process. So what's going on right now has just been that, and people are saying is illegal, and that's international law. That's not U.S. law. That's international law. So what's happening is that they're not being allowed to apply for asylum, and they're being deported immediately. So what are your thoughts about that, René?
So, I mean, just like everybody, I saw the news, and I usually do a lot of reading of a news article. And it was shock. I mean, it was shocking, like to see all the people. I would say it's a situation in Haiti. So throughout this year, we've seen Haiti and the news multiple times, and I
Mhm.
don't think that's a surprise, because of everything that's going on in Haiti. But to know that ever since 2010, there was this major earthquake, and then just this year another earthquake, as well as the assassination of a sitting president. So you hear about the different type of political, I guess, chaos going on right now. So at the end of the day, it is human looking for help. It is human, looking for a way to escape, to be able to provide for themselves and be able to provide for the family. So obviously there's international laws, immigration laws that exist, but at the end of the day, whenever you find a group of people who for years after years have not have the resources, the infrastructure, the jobs needed for in order to thrive, to live, they're going to move somewhere.
Right.
So the thing is, US is the somewhere right now because of the job opportunities, because of the opportunity to be able to send your children to school, and hoping that, going forward they will be able to have a life that's meaningful, and you will be able to live at your home or have a business and be respected. And then so as I was reading, and if those of you who are watching, thank you, I appreciate it. Feel free to let us know your opinion as well, because this is a conversation, so that there can be clarity in regard to what's going on. um and so to go back to what I was saying, is that people are just looking for opportunities. Is this the right way? I don't know. But at the end of the day, anytime you find a group of people who's being oppressed, who does not have security where they live at, or justice when something happen, um, they will move. And then so that's how I see it. And then I I think that in a good way, in one way, it's good that Haiti is being highlighted, so people can actually see what is going on. But then at the end of the day, we have to go back to the root of the issue. So the cause right now, people are moving, people are traveling, migrating, however we want to frame it. But at the end of the day, we have to look at the cause. We have to look at different policies and different, I guess, systems that are in place that is oppressing people, that's forcing them to go to this extreme. I mean, this is extreme.
Right.
And feel free to jump in.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's very
But no
extreme.
one, yeah, I mean, this is extreme. So let's go back to kind of like the population of the people who are at the Texas border right now. So when I say population, I mean like the Haitian group. Some say it's from Haiti directly, people who left Haiti, and then some say that it's people who have since 2010 settled in different South American countries and who are traveling north. So I'm not sure if you have a little background on that or information on that, and then kind of say how can that potentially, I mean, that's obviously if you can share that, affect asylum seekers.
So, in 2016, Brazil had, their so in 2016 there was a World Cup and the Olympics. So Brazil was looking for workers, and so they had a policy. Well, pretty much they were looking for workers, so Haitians could actually go to Brazil and get work and work on these events. So they went, and so I don't know. It was estimated. I don't know what it is now, but it was probably like 40 or 50,000 at least had went to Brazil. At a certain point, Chile had a more relaxed policy and allowed Haitians into their country as well to come work, and thousands of Haitians went to Chile. And so what they're saying is the people who are actually Because if you look at the map, people are like, how are they like getting to Mexico to be able to come into, Mexico when they are the location of
Okay, yes.
Haiti is very close to Florida, and so you don't need to go to Mexico to come to the U.S. if you're in Haiti. That being said, the people who are coming, the people of Haitian origin who are coming, are actually coming from those countries, Brazil and Chile. And most of the interviews from people have been Chile. So that's what it is, right? So they've been, so the past, and a lot of them have been in Chile for the past 5 years. So now they're coming, here. The issue is going to be, which is like gets more into asylum, right? Law is going to be, the international law pretty much is like, when you're trying to file for asylum in any country, when you're fleeing from your country because you're being persecuted, it's the first country you reach is where you file for asylum. If I guess maybe I'm sure there's some exceptions to that, but you can't resettle, meaning start your new life in a new country and then go on to another country and say I want asylum. So that may be a bar that many people are going to face, because many people have been out of Haiti for 4 or 5 years and have made a life for themselves in another country. And then the other issue is, if Chile has given these people residency, right, allow them to become residents of Chile, then it's going to be difficult for them to file for asylum. There's exceptions, obviously, that they're being persecuted in Chile. There's lots of exceptions, but like I said, asylum law has many exceptions.
Yes.
So yeah, it would be difficult.
Okay. So basically what I'm hearing is that there is opportunity, but at the end of the day, it's case by case. It varies for each individual. But then, and I think though, I mean, obviously people are looking for opportunities. People are, trying to leave Haiti, and so they can have a chance of a better life.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but as they are traveling from Haiti to South America and then now to the US, and then you explain that if they were living in Chile before or in Brazil before, it may be harder for them to receive asylum
in the US.
In the US. Thank you for clarifying that. So what do you have to say, maybe kind of like advice or you have for different, I guess, group of people who are listening to misinformation, especially messages from families or different loved ones who's, I don't want to say misguiding, but then giving wrong information that these people are now in a situation where they don't want to be in, just because of wrong information being spread via social media, via WhatsApp. And then so people are then leaving the homes that they created in Chile or the home that they created in Brazil, hoping that they will be able to come into the US based on different advices.
Yeah, so that goes into research, right? It doesn't have to be research, might sound like a fancy thing, but it's not. Look into what is asylum. What do I need to do to qualify for asylum? What are and we'll get into that too a little bit too, but like, what are the percentages of people who apply for asylum in the United States actually get asylum? What's your plan? Long term. So all of those things are very, very important. It's not easy to get asylum in the United States. It does take some time. And also, applying for asylum, there's a waiting period before you can, let's say you're allowed to apply for asylum, and then you're waiting because the immigration system backlogs are huge. So your case could take 2 or 3 years. You still have to wait a significant amount of time before they'll even give you a work authorization. Wow. They changed the rules. Before, they used to be able to apply for work authorization right away. You can't do that anymore. You have to wait a significant, I think it's maybe 180 days or maybe more. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's a significant amount of time. So, who's supporting you during that time? So it's there are certain things, and the U.S. doesn't appoint attorneys for people who are applying for asylum. So you will have to pay for an attorney, or try to find a legal clinic that will provide you services. But please understand, you are one of many people who are doing that. So it will take a little bit of time to find a clinic to take your case. So those are some things. It's not as easy as people think um, to to go through the process. But I understand there are people who it's an
In dire
emergency.
need. Yeah.
They're in dire need, and
We're
there's
in
there's
dire
ways
need.
to help themselves too. Yeah.
That definitely, most definitely. So as mentioned, please do your research. Please, and for those of us who are sharing information, like my go-to phrase is, I don't know, but let me find out. Because when we don't know and we're just spreading information which can ultimately affect people's life negatively, it's not right. And then for those of us who are receiving information, let's do our due diligence. So obviously, the imagery is on the news. It's via social media, and then there is outrage, and then definitely there is outrage due to how the migrants are being treated.
Mm-hmm.
And so, personally, I think it's wrong. I'm not saying just let everybody come and open the borders. That is not what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, we have to be able to treat people, with respect, with dignity, and to follow international laws. So what would you have to say about, what is your opinion about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's the image is a PR nightmare for the Biden administration. Having like a man on a horse with like a whip, essentially. And then I just before this podcast, I was watching the news and I heard they had the recording of one of the border agents who was yelling at one of the migrants and said,
Mhm.
"This is how you treat your women," because they were going close to women and children on
Mhm.
horses, which
Mhm.
that can be a dangerous situation. So there's just so many like just basically like insulting the Haitian man and the Haitian woman, and that
Mhm.
was caught on tape. That's unnecessary. They're treating people just horribly, and at the end they're not criminals. They're
Yes.
not criminals. They're people seeking asylum. You have to, whether, I mean, I just went through a whole thing about how it is difficult, right? But we have laws and we have processes, and they have to go through the process, and they're not being allowed to go through the process, and that's what people are screaming about. um and I've heard a lot of comments, and that's what people are screaming about, is just let them go through the process. If they're unsuccessful, they're unsuccessful. If they're successful, great too. But to not allow them to go through the process, to treat them like this, is inhumane. And this is,
Yes.
this is the United States of America, and they can do better.
Yes, definitely we can do better, and it's inhumane. So right now we have Christine says everywhere they are hiring. I think that was a comment as to, does a labor shortage right now, and everywhere. And then, so if people are coming to work, let them work. That's the sentiment. So correct me if I'm wrong, Christine, but that's how I interpret it. So let me know. And then, yeah, and then she said no one wants to work, so let people who want to work. And then, in regards to your concern that, like, it's human rights violation. So with that being said, obviously we see the situation, it's horrific. So what can we do? So right now there are a few organizations in the Chicagoland. We're in Chicago, in the
Mhm.
Chicagoland area, who are working with organizations who are in Texas, who can help. And so we'll put the websites on the comments. So, and then you can definitely add as I'm sharing that,
Mhm.
Daphne. So the Haitian Congress to Fortify Haiti is one of the organizations that you can support if you want to support Haitian migrants in the Texas border. So it's HaitianCongress.org. They've been working in the community for over 10 years now. And so definitely it's a great organization that you can support if you want to go ahead and help the migrants who are in dire need of help right now. And in addition to that, there's also sorry, give me 1 second. Okay. And Daphne, feel free to add as I'm looking for this.
Oh, sure. You said Haitian Congress to Fortify Haiti. So I think it's the three organizations you're going to name. They're all working together. So I mean, like if you donate to one, it'll
Yes.
probably be funneled to the people who are on the ground.
Mhm.
But we're all in connection. And so there was the Haitian Bridge Alliance was another one, and then there was NEON, which is like National Haitian American Elected Public Officials. So I was able to be in a meeting a couple of days ago, and I was able to talk to the president of NEON, which who was actually in Texas at the border, and it was quite interesting what they were seeing. The head of this money is going directly to these people. They need shelter, they need food, they need there are some people that are being processed for asylum, and those people, if they are released so that they can go ahead and apply for asylum,
Mhm.
then if they deem that they qualify, they need assistance, because usually when you're released to a family member or someone within the United States. So if you're in Texas but you have family in California or Florida or wherever, Idaho, they need assistance like bus rides, train rides, whatever, to get there. So they're trying to assist people, and there's organizations on the ground. So that's what a lot of these organizations are interested in, is helping people on the ground. Uh,
Yes.
oh, go ahead.
No, no, go ahead.
Haitian Bridge Alliance. I forgot what the lady's name. I know her last name is Joseph. I think it's Gerlin Joseph. She's on the border right now. They are taking donations on their website, and the money is going to the people. It's what we learned from the guy from NEON, the Haitian American elected official, the president. He was saying how there was not that much help on the border, right? So you had so they needed assistance, they needed bodies out there, they needed people. There are organizations that will be sending attorneys out there to help people with this process. As I stated earlier, I don't know if I said it or not, people are not given lawyers. You're not going to be given a lawyer. So, to preserve your rights, to protect you, it's important that they have lawyers out there, and also people who are not lawyers who can just explain the process to people, so that they can give themselves the best opportunity to be able to get asylum in the future. Because anything you say at this moment, right, it's documented. And
Yes.
so when people sit for an asylum interview 2 years from now, right, they're going to bring up what they say today. And so it's important that they understand that. It's important that their rights are preserved. So that's why they need people on the ground. Those people need to get transportation, lodging. So it's a big effort. So and it's a self-funded effort. It's the
Yes.
people, the community that's getting out there and doing that. So yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So, for those of you who understand on solidarity with the Haitian migrants currently going through the crisis, so I put three websites. For that's HaitianCongress.org, which is the Haitian Congress to Fortify Haiti, as well as Haitian Bridge Alliance. So the website is HaitianBridge.org. It's in the comments, as well as NHAEON.org, which is also in the comment. That's the National Haitian American Elected officials network. So these are some of the places that you can feel comfortable. Obviously, you can do your personal due diligence. However, you can feel free to reach out to them, see how you can help, see what resources that they need, so that we all can help the Haitian migrants. So as we are wrapping up, let us also remember that the reason that those families, those individuals are traveling is because of the lack of opportunities in Haiti. And then so maybe the weeks coming forward, we will be speaking about the different challenges that Haiti is facing right now. Some you may be aware of, some you may not. But then to go into the root of the issue is the best solution to prevent this chaos from continuing. Because at the end of the day, we said it already. Anytime people do not have the opportunity to work, to live, to thrive, they will find different ways, different options, different means, and go different places so that they can provide for themselves and to provide for their families. So the best way that we can help is to help people in Haiti. It's to help uh, it's complicated. I know it's a lot, but in the simple things that we can do, which include supporting children with the education, which includes supporting young adults who can be able to learn a trade so that they can be self-employed, so that not only they can create businesses for themselves but also for the community. Because if you read some of the article, people are saying that I just need a job, you know, uh, with over 11 million people in Haiti, and then, few job opportunities, there will be chaos, there will be violence, people will be moving. And then so we have to look into how we can help in those situation. And we may have this may include, you know, having conversation with politicians, but also having conversation with NGOs who have been working in Haiti for decades. And then so kind of like have holding people accountable, not only in the political sector, but as well as the private sector, as well as the NGO sector. That's what I wanted to add. And I will always share with you all. I do have an initiative where I'm launching a GEM mission where we can help support individual who wants to start business. We can help pay for tuition for young people who want to learn a trade, and we can help support children who want to go to school. And so, if you want to learn more about that, feel free to reach out to me. But tonight we are focusing on the Haitian migrants who are currently under a bridge with no resources, who needs assistance. And so feel free to reach out to those three organizations that we mentioned and then see how we can support them. Anything you would like to add, Daphne, before we wrap up?
Yeah, I wanted to add, in the United States right now, I think it's New York, Florida, and now Chicago. There are going to be
Yes.
because the protests are for the treatment of the migrants underneath the bridge. Just that, like that, we talked about the horrific image, but also the fact that they're only being fed once a day. They haven't. Many of them have not taken showers in 4 days. People are trying to change their diapers with with nothing, basically. So it's just been kind of horrific. So, and like I said, we can do better, and we should do better. So, if we're in the Chicagoland area on Sunday, September 26th, in front of the federal building downtown Chicago at 2:30 p.m., there will be a protest. It's more, they're not calling protest, I'm sorry, it's a rally and a press conference and a peace rally, right? No one's we just want to have our concerns aired and also stand in solidarity with the mission. If we would love everybody to come, but if you cannot come, please try to support. For people who can, we would love if you would donate to any of those three organizations. look at them, look up each organization and see what you feel comfortable with, and see like what calls to you. If you're unable to do that, there's always ways you can stand in solidarity. You can share, this flyer. It will be in the comments probably. It'll be in the comments, and so share the flyer, right? Share it on social media, and that's how you can support. Just get the word out. Help us get the word out. And then also, like, comment when you see these things, because this is not right. Because the thing is, too, we are all connected. So if this is happening to the Haitian people tomorrow, it can be happening to our Mexican brothers and sisters the next day, or our Salvadorian people, our Chinese brothers and sisters. The focus a lot of times on immigration tends to be, the face of immigration is unfortunately, is the Mexican man and woman, right? People, when they think of immigrants, that's all they think of. Now they're thinking about the Haitians, but we live in Chicago. We have a humongous, huge, large Polish undocumented population. We were talking about asylum earlier. Majority of the people who were being granted asylum were Chinese people. So you may think immigration is not a Mexican problem. It's not a Haitian problem. It's a we problem. It's all of us. The media picks and chooses who they like to make the face of immigration, but it's not the case. We're all in this together. This is not right. It doesn't matter what the race of the person is. If they were doing this to another group, I would still be saying the same thing. It's not right, and we can't accept that. That's it, Renee.
Was the flyer being shown, or was it back?
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Awesome. Yes, please support however you can. Yes, so Daigo, thank you for joining us. Okay. All right. So here's one comment. It's from Daigo. Says, stop coming into Mexico like that. Have respect. Have respect for Mexico.
Mm-hmm. It's more. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Yes.
This is, we barely touched the surface of this.
Yes.
There's only so much we can say. Also, this is a 30-minute podcast.
Yes.
There's so many layers. Like, if we want to talk about Haiti, the Haiti and the U.S. dynamic, it goes way back, right? Yes. And the U.S. has a tremendously strong footprint in Haiti, right? Even today. Mm-hmm. And so this whole thing is complicated.
It is very.
Yeah, one of the reasons why Haitian people recently, under Trump, these people who had the same group, or the same Haitian brothers and sisters, who would have, let's say that this would have happened under him, they would have had to wait in Mexico, right? But Mexico is no longer taking Haitians. Mexico is only to do the asylum process. Mexico has a select group of people from different countries. When I say people, I mean like people from Mexico, people from certain Central America.
I see Honduras. I saw an article about that. It was 3 countries I saw. I think it was Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador. But don't quote me on that.
Right.
But when I read the article, those are the 3 countries. And then from what I read from that article, it says that Mexico is also going to start deporting Haitians in the country, for living in the country. And then so it is a complicated situation. Right. But at the end of the day, it's like what goes around comes around, because you find history tells us that often there's a group of people who's either attacked, or is either humiliated, or who's either forgotten. And then so when a different group is that group that's being attacked right now, let's not be quick to judge, because at the end of the day, we don't know which group it will be tomorrow. So again, everybody is entitled to the opinion, and we respect that. And at the end of the day, too, let us remember that we are one human family, and people, as I mentioned before, will not put themselves in this dangerous
Mhm.
situation to go through this whole journey if they were not in a dire situation to find hope. People are just looking for hope. People are just looking for opportunities because if you see what's been going on with Haiti since I want to say since before 2010, um, it is obviously we have to take some responsibility, but it's not all our doing. Um, and in the near future we will be talking more about maybe the history of Haiti, and not only from the past but also in the present, which is causing a lot of the injustice that's going on right now. Anything you want to add to that, Daphne? Or did I go on
No,
away?
no, no.
So thank you, Charlene. She said thank you for sharing this. Very true. I'm not sure in which segment. um and then speak. All right, sis, I will continue to speak. Haiti will rise. Definitely, Haiti will rise. I do believe that. I think um, all have to do our part. We just all have to not forget. Because, like when we talk about Haiti, I think it's a disservice to the individual people living in Haiti when we say Haiti and we just see the chaos.
Right, right.
Well, when people say Haiti and they look at the political chaos, they look at the disasters that's going on, but you don't see the individual. The mother who says, "Okay, I just want to be able to feed my kid," or the husband who says, "I just want to work.
Mm.
I'm not begging for bread. I'm not begging for food. I just want to be having the opportunities to work." Or how about the men in Haiti who have the option to work, is one out of thousand who was able to find a job opportunity, but find himself being underpaid to the point that they cannot even live on that salary. And then the thing is, when people have a job in Haiti, because of there's a major lack of opportunities, those people are mistreated because I can easily replace you. I can easily replace you for lower, either you want it or not. And so when it's that type of sentiment, when for the few opportunities, people will leave. People will try to look for better. People will try because at the end of the day, as human, our instinct is to survive. We will love to thrive, but our instinct is to survive. So thank you to all of you who will be standing in solidarity, who's gonna share the flyer. We're gonna put it in the comment. Those of you who can attend, and those of you who can donate. At the end of the day, we are one human family, so let's be empathetic to what's going on, and may God bless you all. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Thank you for joining us, Daphne with Antoine and Anthony Daphnée Camilien signing out. See you all next Wednesday at 8:30 and live in conversation.
Bye.
Bye bye.